Hi, this is Beth Beard from mylittlecraftblog.com, and today we're going to be making this little gift box. This box here I posted the other day on my blog, and this one I made with the Modern Medley Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up! And it has a very nice vintage feel to it and could be used year-round. And the top of the box looks like that. And this box was made the same way, but instead of having the box come up at the top and secured with the ribbon, I pushed it down and then secured the top with just this little tag here that I made. And I've got another little tag here that you could write on the back, to and from, and attached it with some baker's twine and then tied a pretty bow on the front. And then the last one I made was with the Witch's Brew Designer Series paper from the holiday catalog this year. And this is also made with Summer Starfruit cardstock and the Halloween Bash stamp set and some black Stampin' Glitter. I don't know if you can see that, but the scallop circle punch was made using it. And at the end of this video, I'll post each of these projects and the products that I used to create them. But the one we're going to do today, I thought since I did an everyday one, a Halloween, and a Christmas, we should do a Thanksgiving. So what we're going to be using today is the Thankful Tablescape Simply Created kit from Stampin' Up! And this is a wonderful kit, and if you look at it, it's got tons of products in it. It's got this beautiful birch paper in it. Actually, what this is designed for, the materials are for 10 dinner guests. Napkin holders, table tents, belly bands, name banners, that sort of thing. So we're going to use some of the products out of this kit today to create our little Thanksgiving box. So what I've done, first off, is taken some Whisper White cardstock, and I've cut out 4 pieces using Stampin' Up's Biggs L Mini Milk Carton die. Love this die. And if you follow me, that you've seen the La La Loopsy treat boxes that I made about a year ago that were much smaller. And these are about twice the size of those. Okay, so to get started, I've cut out all 4 in Whisper White, as I said before. So now we're going to take my paper trimmer. And you can see there's 4 different sections right here. This last section here we're going to cut off on all 4 pieces. I'm going to need 2 pieces for the top section and then 2 pieces for the bottom section. So for the top section, we don't need these bottom flaps here because that's what secures the bottom of the box. So we'll make these 2 the top. So these we're going to cut off. And there's a score line right across here. And we're just going to line that up in the paper trimmer and cut that off. Okay, now there's some score lines up here. There's 2 triangles on each. There's 3 panels left. So there's a triangle here and a triangle here. The center one has a score line that goes all the way up, but it doesn't come down on the side. So we'll bring our paper trimmer back in, and we're going to line that up in the track with that point from that score line to the intersecting one, and we're going to make that score line. Like that. And we're going to do that for both pieces. And we'll just fold on the score lines. Use our bone folder. Okay, up here at the top where the triangles are, you have to decide now whether or not you want the lid to come up and then secure it with a ribbon, or if you want it to lay flat like this box here. So the box we're going to make today, we're going to make it like this. So if you want it to come up, be raised at the top and be a little bit larger, you're going to fold on those score lines towards you. If you wanted the box top to go in like this one, then you fold it back. But for today we're going to fold them forward because we're going to have ours come up. We'll do that for both pieces. Now we'll take some sticky strip and attach those two together. We'll just line up these two edges. And now we'll set this aside. Okay, so our other two pieces, now we're going to work on the bottom portion of the box. So up here at the top where the triangles are, we don't need all of this. So we're going to put this in the paper trimmer and we're going to cut 1 inch of that off. And we're going to do that for both. So again, triangles are up here, and we're going to cut at 1 inch. Now we'll fold on the score lines. Let me tell you, there's a score line across here up at the top, but that we're not going to fold on. We're just going to use that for a guide when we attach the top piece and the bottom piece. And now we'll put these two together. And I'm using sticky strip because we want a good hold on it. You don't want your box to come apart. We'll line up these edges. Now we'll attach the bottom to the top piece. So right along here that I was telling you about, that score line, we'll put sticky strip along there. I'm going to turn this. I think it's easier to line it up. And what I'm going to do is lay this upper portion right up against where that score line is on this piece, on our bottom section, just to make sure that I get it on straight. So I'm going to use that score line as a guide, and I'm also going to watch to make sure that I line up the score lines across the fold lines going this way. Okay, so now our box is ready to be decorated. Oh, we'll put one more piece of sticky strip on this section right here, on this flap. But we're not going to put it together just yet. Some birch paper from the Simply Created kit, the Thankful Tablescape, and I've cut these. I've got 6 pieces of this birch paper, and they measure 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then I've taken 6 more pieces of Early Espresso cardstock, and these measure 1 3/8 by 5 3/8, and then I have 6 of these. And I've already attached those together, and we'll do that with this one. And I'm just using some snail Stampin' Up! Double-sided adhesive. And we'll just center and stick those. let's move this out of the way. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do for these pieces, we need to find the center. Now I know this measures 1 3/8, but an easier way to find the center of it, if you don't like measuring down to 1/16, I'm just lining this up inside the grid paper. Let's see if you can see that. And I'm just going to eyeball where I think the center is by using the lines, and I'm going to make a mark. And I'm going to do that for all 6 of these. So I'm just lining it up in the grid paper, trying to center it, using this as the center mark and making a tiny pencil mark. Okay, so now we have all 6 pieces attached. So we're going to put these in our paper trimmer, and we're going to score these at 1.5 inches. Okay, so we'll fold on the score line. So now we have our pencil mark right here in the center. We've got our fold line right here. The easiest way I found to do this is because we want to make this triangular cut for up here at the top of our box. Right here at the pencil mark, and I'm going to make a cut up here to that score line, and then come back here and make another one up to this score line. Like that. Now when you put this on the box, now you may have noticed, so we've layered this onto Early Espresso cardstock. But one thing you'll notice now that we've cut this off, you won't have that trim up here at the top. I'm okay with that because I don't think you really notice it too much on the box that it's not lined. I think you notice it more so on the sides. So I'm alright with it by leaving it off. Okay, so now we'll bring our box back. We're going to line these up. This fold line right here is going to line up with this fold line right there, and we're going to center and stick those in each of those panels. So this fold line here you need to have lined up. So now we have our panels on. So now we're going to apply sticky strip on these bottom pieces. So this very first panel here we're going to skip. And we're going to just put a small piece along here on the second one. Make sure that it's going to hold together well. Okay, so let's go over it again. This first panel we skipped. We put sticky strip here along this panel up at the top. The second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and the sixth one, we put it on both sides. So now we're going to remove the red backing on this one. And we'll line up our edges. Okay, so the first piece I've already put down is the one that had the sticky strip on both sides. Then we had sticky strip along that one. We'll push that one down. We'll remove the red backing on this one. Put that one down. Okay, so now we have our box assembled. The next thing we're going to do is take a piece of the Sweater Weather Designer Series paper that's in our Thankful Tablescape Simply Created kit. These are 12 inches long, and I cut mine down to 10 inches, and I put a piece of sticky strip on both sides. And we're going to wrap this around the box to hide this seam. Where we attach the two pieces together, you can see a seam in between the panels, especially since we're using white cardstock. On the black one I didn't do it because I don't think you can see it very well. It's not very noticeable. You have to look really closely to see the seam. But on the white I think it really shows up. So we're going to hide that. So we're just going to take this and wrap it around. And I'm going to do it towards the bottom half of the box because, well, you'll see how we're going to decorate it. So I'm just going to come down here and make sure that here's my seam, and that covers that up. And I'm going to start out in the center and just wrap that around. And line up the edges. So this is also from the kit, and it also comes with this cool Stampin' Chalk marker if you wanted to make place marks. So I thought it would be cute that you could make these for every table setting for Thanksgiving, or you could also just use it for a nice autumn gift as well. Fill it full of candy, or if you wanted to give it as a gift box, fill it with, I don't know, something small, hand lotion or something. And what's nice about these pens, then you can write the recipient's name on there, or the place setting if you want people to sit in certain spots, or write your own little message. So for right now, I'm just going to leave mine blank. And what I've also taken from the kit is this little leaf in Crushed Curry Designer Series paper. And I'm going to sponge the edges of it. And I'm going to use some chocolate chip ink and a stamping sponge. And just lightly sponge the edges, just to give it a little bit more character. So on my box, on my nameplate, I'll put my son's name on it. So I'll just write his name using the cool marker. Okay, this is our seam, so we're going to make this the back of our box. So we'll use this as the front. Now we'll attach some adhesive on the back side, right down the center. Maybe we'll put a little sticky strip on there so we know it doesn't come off. So we'll just center and stick it. Now our little leaf that we sponge, we'll attach it, put some little adhesive on the back, or we'll use a glue dot. I'm just going to tuck that in behind there. Okay, so now would be the time where you would fill it with your small gift or candy or whatever, nuts, whatever you were planning on giving. So up at the top here, we're going to take these edges and pinch them together. And it's hard to see, I know, in the camera, but there's a little score mark that goes right across here. All I do is take my hole puncher and line this up just to make sure that I get each one even. And I make sure that that line's going through the center of my hole punch and punch. And then I'm going to do the same thing, pinch these edges together and do the same thing until I go all the way around the box. To make it more real, I've got some Milky Way caramel apple I'm going to fill my box with. So now I have my candy in there. I'm going to take some Whisper White taffeta ribbon and I'm going to taper the edge because it's easier to feed it through the holes. Now I'm going to tie a bow here in the front. So I'm going to start weaving this through the holes. Okay, so my ribbon starts and stops in the center. I start feeding it through this side. I left it attached to the roll because I wasn't sure how big of a bow I wanted to make and just fed it all the way through. Now I think I'll trim the edges. and just tie a simple bow. Okay, and then we'll just trim the edges. And there you have it. I think that would make a cute little place setting for everybody at the holidays, or make a nice cute little autumn gift. Here's all the little boxes. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.